This is the Jeff Akin Show on this Financial Friday. Hi there, I am Jeff Akin. This is what we do every Friday. We talk about the finances of government because, after all, it is your money that they're playing with, and you need to know how they're spending it and what's going on. And you also need to know the financial conditions under which you're operating as a business owner, as a worker, someone who maybe is looking for work. And that's how we start this next segment, talking about employment in the state of Arkansas. According to ArkansasBusiness.com, Arkansas unemployment, it ticked up 1/10 of a percentage point from March, coming in at 5.7% in April, according to a report released earlier this week by the State Department of Workforce Services. It's the first time the Arkansas unemployment rate has increased since January of 2011, according to Michael Packo, the chief economist at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock Institute for Economic Advancement. Packo said that the increase likely means employment levels in Arkansas are settling. Although the unemployment percentage increased from March to April, the number of jobs increased as well. Now, he says that he does not expect Arkansas's unemployment rate to continue to increase. He said, quote, "I'm fairly optimistic for outlook for employment in Arkansas. My forecast is for continued strong job growth in the rest of the year," unquote. The April report said Arkansas's civilian labor force rose by 4,100 jobs from March, with 2,600 more employed and 1,500 more unemployed Arkansans. In all, there were 76,100 unemployed and 1.26 million employed Arkansans last month. Now, meanwhile, the U.S. jobless rate declined 1/10 of a percentage point from 5.5% in March to 5.4% in April. Arkansas's unemployment rate has consistently been higher than the U.S. unemployment rate, but only by a slight margin. In April of 2014, Arkansas's unemployment rate stood at 6.3%, with 80,900 people unemployed and 1.21 million employed. The U.S. unemployment rate was 6.2% last year. Now, where are the jobs being created? Who's getting employed, in other words? Well, the leisure and hospitality sector added 6,700 jobs, and educational and health services added 4,600 jobs in the last year. One industry that has lost jobs is the mining and logging industry, down 300 jobs from the same time last year. The professional and business services sector had growth, adding 1,800 jobs since March. The trade, transportation, and utilities industry added 2,600 jobs over the same period. Now, here's one that you want to pay attention to. It's the construction industry, because if construction folks are adding jobs, that means they're building stuff. And that's always good for your economy when your construction folks are building stuff. The construction industry gained 2,800 jobs and expected seasonal change. So that's good news right there. What about the biggest companies in Arkansas? Recently, ArkansasBusiness.com released the 75 largest private companies in the state of Arkansas. And I'm glad they did this, by the way, because I learned some things by reading this. The 75 largest private companies in the state of Arkansas generated total revenue, now check this out, total revenue of $38.8 billion in the recent fiscal years, up nearly 7% in a year. How about that? That's pretty cool. I always applaud the private sector for doing well. I think it's just a great thing. The price of entry to this year's list of the 75 largest private companies in the state was a bit lower at $84 million. Compared with almost $90 million for last year's list. As usual, Stevens Incorporated of Little Rock tops the list, and as usual, has probably the least reliable estimate for its revenue, $2.25 billion. It's the same estimate as last year. But for most of the revenue figures on the list, 63 of the 75 came directly from the companies, including 2 that had never participated in this list before: Priority Wire and Cable of Little Rock and Ozark Mountain Poultry of Rogers. The companies occupying the top 15 spots on the list are the same as last year, albeit with considerable shuffling around. A 25% increase in revenue moved Bruce Oakley Incorporated of North Little Rock from 9 to number 6, while 2014's falling fuel prices resulted in Flash Market Incorporated of West Memphis sliding from number 7 to number 11. Bruce Oakley's total revenue rebounded above the $1 billion mark that it first achieved in 2012. The growth was thanks in part to its purchase in February 2014, about halfway through the fiscal year, of Johnston's Port 33 Incorporated, the largest private terminal operator on the Arkansas River in Oklahoma. However, Flash Market slipped back to 9 digits. As a result, the number of billion-dollar private companies in the state remains at 8. So Arkansas has 8 private companies that generate over $1 billion. That's not too bad. Newcomers. Priority Wire and Cable, 22-year-old company, has deliberately flown under the radar, enters the list at number 29, with revenue in the year that ended September 30th of $324.5 million. Of its 22 employees, only 95 are in Arkansas. Ozark Mountain Poultry, only 14 years old, debuts at number 37 with 2014 revenue of $250 million. The fast-growing company grows, harvests, and processes specialty chickens that are antibiotic-free, are not raised in cages, and are not fed animal byproducts. For more than 3 million pounds of chicken each week is distributed to retailers such as Sam's Club and to restaurants such as Chipotle Mexican Grill and Panera Bread Company. I have a joke about Panera Bread Company. I tell people that that's where the washed eat and the unwashed we eat elsewhere. But that's an old joke. Multicraft Contractors of Springdale has participated in the Arkansas Business Survey for more than a decade and regularly appears on the list of subcontractors. This year, it broke into the list of state's largest private companies at number 75 with 2014 revenue of $84 million, an increase of more than 23% from 2013. So there you have it, a list of folks there that are making some money in the state of Arkansas, which is good. That's a good thing. Now, let's talk about something that's good and not good. It's good, but it's not good. What is that, Jeff? I'm glad you asked. The private option in the state of Arkansas has made money for some folks, in particular Blue Cross Blue Shield. Arkansas Blue Cross Blue Shield, they've had a remarkable 42.6% surge in revenue in 2014, mainly because of the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, or in Arkansas, BB Care, now ASA Care. The health insurance company's revenue jumped from $1.4 billion to $1.9 billion in 2014, posting the second highest percentage revenue increase on Arkansas Business's list of the 75 largest private companies. It's number 3 on the list of Arkansas's largest private companies ranked by revenue. The driver of the revenue growth? 206,000 newly insured members who obtained coverage because of health care reform. Mark White, the president and CEO, said this. He said, quote, "When we started off thinking about the ACA and the fact that there were 500,000 Arkansans who were without insurance, we anticipated there'd be quite a bit of enrollment," unquote. Well, duh. Of course there's quite a bit of enrollment. You have to enroll. I'm going through the process right now, and I can tell you it's a hassle. It's a real hassle. We don't have this in Texas. Can I say that again? We don't have this in Texas. I've never had as much, and listen, my health is wonderful. I hadn't been to a doctor in years, haven't needed to go to a doctor in years. My health is wonderful. I got no problems. I haven't had problems for years and years and years. But it's been a process to get insurance. Why? What happened? Well, my last employer, because it went into receivership, they dropped all of us. Well, we didn't know they dropped us. The new company didn't pick us up. And so therefore, the 62-day waiting period, or 62-day without insurance period, lapsed. And so we're all having to go through this nonsense now. And it's amazing the stuff I've got to go through. I'm shocked and appalled, actually. I spent last night on the phone. I spent 15 minutes on the phone last night answering a bunch of dumb questions. Why? Just because I'm in Arkansas, and just because of this Obamacare nonsense, it's costing me money, and it's costing me time, and it's just a real hassle. So I am one of those people who has been caught up in this nonsense in the state of Arkansas. Listen, Texas doesn't have this kind of stuff. Why? Because Texas chose not to participate in this nonsense. And I would suggest Arkansas get of it as soon as you can. I will fight for it, believe me. And I will use every means I have to help Arkansas get out of this nonsense, because it's communism and it's socialism, and you think it's a good idea probably, but you're wrong. It's a terrible idea. And all it's done is made some people rich. So they added over 200,000 more people to the insurance rolls in the state of Arkansas. I am glad for the company. I'm always glad that the private sector does well, but not because of a government law. And that's where it gets a little weird for me personally. All right. I'm a free market guy, as you can tell. I'm all about freedom. That's why this is called the voice of freedom oftentimes. All right, it is Financial Friday. We're talking about the finances of government because, after all, it is your money. Hour number 2 of the Jeff Akin Show, forthcoming on AR1.tv.